Good morning and welcome. Blessings to you, everyone. This morning's class will be about bliss. And the word Ananda in Sanskrit means bliss. The Yogis believe that our essential nature is truth, consciousness, and bliss. And these three are conjoined in one word, Satchitananda. Satchitananda. Satchitananda means truth, consciousness, and bliss. Bliss is never really attained by merely getting something that we want. Bliss is in the mind and an inherent capacity of consciousness that can be accessed simply by being, not doing. However, abiding in your true nature, bliss will arise naturally and spontaneously. Listening to the whole of your experience with enough detachment to witness your emotional state so that you can transform these emotions into an experience of beauty. This is having an artistic sentiment about what you're feeling in your experience. And these artistic interpretations of your emotions are called rasas. Rasa is the essence or juice or the nectar of that experience as it's distilled in your worldview of sensibility and artistic appreciation. And with spiritual practice, listening becomes easier and easier, continuously revealing ever greater degrees of glory within your sacred heart. And as we are willing to discern deep in the heart where we need to go in our journey, like following a golden thread that leads you with ever greater and greater expansion, wherever your passion takes you, your bliss is assured. And we will use the mudra, Shanmukhi mudra, as we practice Brahmari pranayama. The Shanmukhi mudra involves closing off the senses, withdraw the senses. The fifth limb of Ashtanga Yoga in the Yoga Sutras is to pratyahara. Pratyahara is this withdrawal of the senses from the external and focusing them on the internal. This mudra helps us do that by sealing the 6 gates, the 2 ears, the 2 eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Take off glasses to demonstrate. And after I demonstrate the mudra, then we'll practice the pranayama with the mudra. So begin by putting the pinky fingers under the lips, the next fingers over the lips, the next fingers on the nostrils, and the index fingers lightly closing the eyelids and holding the eyelashes down. And then the last is putting the thumbs to close the ears. Now I'm going to ask you to take the mudra away and listen about Brahmari pranayama. Brahmara means the bumblebee. And the humming of bees represents the sacred sound of vibration. And there's a mystical connection in the beehive of the heart and the humming at the crown of the head. The chakras spin and the humming is the sacred sound of awakening. So practicing Brahmari, you make a humming sound like that of a female bumblebee. And this happy little bumblebee is flitting around from flower to flower, collecting that nectar and turning it into that sweet, delicious honey. So you have a hum as you exhale. Just make that hollow humming sound by lightly sealing the lips together and creating this nice resonance in the mouth, in the skull, and this resonance is going to be felt even more distinctly with the mudra. Shanmukhi mudra, closing the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and then the ears. Begin the humming as you exhale. And inhale whenever you need another breath. And one more nice big breath. And then when you're ready, just let the hands rest down in your lap. And breathe normally through both nostrils. Now, if you don't already, have a strap handy for the practice, because there are some binding options with these poses. This is going to be a sweet nectar practice. We'll start in child's pose, Balasana. So, coming to kneeling position, separating the knees hip width or wider. Keep the inner edges of the big toes touching and start to ease back towards the heels with the buttocks and slide the hands forward enough that you can rest your forehead on the floor. On the inhale, lift up through the inner armpits. And on the exhale, pull the navel to the spine and extend out through the hands and arms to lengthen the back. Inhale, breathe into the kidneys, puff up the middle back. And on the exhale, lengthen and extend the tailbone down and the hands forward. So even in this very gentle pose, you can connect to the earth through the hands and feet, even the forehead. Connect to that source and pulse with your breath, comfortably expanding and contracting with each inhale and exhale. Now we'll lift back to table pose and come down onto the chest for cobra. Slide the hands back alongside the chest with the elbows pointed behind and point the toes straight back. Click down through the toenails, push down through the front of the hips and roll the shoulders up. And draw the elbows back so you can keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep lengthening the toes away. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. And exhale, hold strength in the back and the core. Gaze down slightly so you don't pinch the back of the neck by sticking the chin too far forward or collapsing in the shoulders. Keep the shoulders broad. Now release the chest down, resting. Push back up to table pose. And on the exhale, round the back like angry cat. And on the inhale, scoop the chest through, look up. Exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. Just abide in your breath. Be in this moment. And let this blissful breath flow evenly and smoothly from beginning to end. Now circling the hips, that you can coordinate the circles with your breath, inhaling forward and exhaling back. And the hips are free to move in as large a circle as you wish. And any other part of your body. When you're ready, reverse the circles. Then come forward again, chest down, toes pointed back. And we'll come to upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders up, press the tops of the feet down, and now you've lifted so the arms are straight. Draw the sides of the neck back. And then release. And curl the toes under, lift the hips, and bend the knees for tiger dog. Bend and straighten the knees a couple times like your tiger about to pounce. And then walk forward to the hands and roll the back up to stand. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, all 5 fingertips touching like you're holding a sphere. Hakini mudra. And squeezing the fingertips together, hug the arms to the midline, hug the legs to the midline, and the navel to the backbone. Create a solid connection between earth and sky as you ground down through strong legs and reach high into the sky. And now rest and bring the arms to the sides. Relax and breathe. Rest your awareness in the breath. And the touch of breath in the nostrils. Now, Shiva is well known for his Ananda Tandava, the dance of bliss. And we'll practice some of this dance by assuming the Shiva Nataraj form. This is where Shiva is dancing in a ring of fire. We're balanced on the left leg first. Lift the right knee and turn the right foot to the side, crossing the right knee over. First, the Dharmula, this 2-headed drum that Shiva plays. It's the drumbeat of creation. Shiva's body, the sustaining, and the fire he holds in the other hand, dissolution. Now, Shiva has 2 more arms, so here's the next one, concealment. This right hand pointing at the right foot. We hold the left hand in Abhaya Mudra, fearlessness. And the left foot, the revelation, The right foot is the revelation. The 5 acts of Shiva all being demonstrated in this one pose. Now let's switch to the opposite side. We're balancing on the right leg. Unlock the right knee. There's a little bend in the right knee. And cross the left knee in front of the right. There's space. The knees, both knees are bent. Okay. The drum in one hand, the fire in the other. Now the left hand is going to point to the left foot, and the right hand, Abhaya Mudra, fearlessness. Concealment, the left hand, and revelation. Now putting the left foot down, stretching up, a nice little shimmy, reaching, growing taller and taller. Take a wide stance with feet wider than the mat. And unlock the knees, hinge back through the hips. And walk the fingertips forward. Lean back into your heels. Spread the toes. And give your back traction. So decompress the lower back. And then step the feet back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Claw the mat with the hands and hug the arms to the midline. Inhale, soften the knees. And exhale, press the heels down as you lengthen the spine. And pulse a little with each breath. Softening on the inhale to sense and feel that bliss. And exhale, extending. Now looking up, step right foot forward to low lunge. Lower the left knee down and bring the hands up to the right thigh. Anchor down through the legs. Engage muscular energy in the core of the pelvis. Then sweep the arms up to Anjaneyasana. Draw the shoulder blades down as you scoop the heart up, look up, and add a little back bend. And then release and lower hands down. Lift up the back knee, or you can keep it lowered for the twist. Twist to the right and open the right arm. And gaze up to the right thumb. And release. Put the right hand down and step the right foot back to downward dog. Breathe comfortably, deeply, deliciously. Inhale, step the left foot forward. And exhale, right knee down. And bring the hands up to the left thigh. Roll the shoulders up and back. And exhale, pull the navel in, pull back with that left heel, press down through the right knee, and it grips the mat. Hug in with the hips. Inhale, arms up, Anjaneyasana. Squeeze to the midline with the hands, with the hips. Press down through the legs, and a little back bend. Now release the hands down. You can keep the back knee down or lift it up and start to twist to the left side. Prasarda, Parshvakonasana. Roll the shoulders back, lift up the back thigh, and squeeze into the midline. These actions of muscular energy connect us more fully to this moment, being present with the breath. Another breath here. And release. Left hand down. Step back again to downward dog. Now, walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees. And inhale, hands to knees. The feet should be parallel, about hip distance apart. Exhale, slide the hands down, pull the navel up and in, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and exhale, fold over straight legs. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Unlock the knees, bring the hands to the outer shins, and press the outer shins in to the midline. Spiral the inner thighs back. Draw the lower back in. Fold as you exhale. For a deeper stretch, bring the arms around the backs of the calves, holding here around the backs of the ankles, and pulling up on the backs of the ankles. Take the crown of the head down a little deeper. Exhale, straighten the knees. One more deep breath. And unlock the knees. Inhale, stand all the way up. Raise up, touch the palms. Exhale, release the arms down. And now, coming to Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Step to the front of the mat. And then, right foot back. Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Bend the left knee. Make sure that back heel is well grounded. And lift the arms. Inhale, spread the fingers, shine up. And exhale, root down through the legs. Blossom on the inhale. And root more deeply on the exhale. Pulling the navel in, deepening the hips. And then bring the hands behind, humble warrior. You can clasp the hands, or if you wish to have the strap, hold the strap behind your back with the thumbs pointed away from this midline. And even keep a slight bend in the elbows. I'm going to fold forward and lift the knuckles up towards the sky. And use both legs equally. The right inner thigh helping support. And release. Release the strap. Come forward onto that left leg and lift the right leg up and standing split. Try and straighten both legs. And then release the right foot down next to the left. Unlock the knees. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, rest down. Then step the left foot back for warrior one. Bend the right knee. And when the feet are solidly grounded, start to lift the arms. Inhale, blossom up through the heart. Spread the petals, the fingers. And exhale, draw in through the navel. Press down through the legs and feet. Make deep connection to the earth. Big, full breaths. Breathe into the lower back. Breathe into the kidneys. And rest the arms behind. Clasp hands or hold the strap. And then folding forward over the right hip. Lift the knuckles up towards the sky. And press evenly through both feet. Observe the quality of your breath. What you're feeling in your body at this moment. And the state of your mind. Trying to maintain the detachment necessary to place this in an artistic context. Now release the hands. Bring the weight forward onto the right leg and lift the left leg up in standing split. Try to straighten the knees. Focus, breathe. And release the left foot down and come into squat. You may need to widen the feet or turn the toes out. But this is a nice release in the lower back. Inhale, broaden the chest, widen the collarbones, and exhale, draw in with the knees, in through the navel, lengthen the tailbone down. Now, fold forward, feet parallel. Inhale, rise. Lift the arms, sphere. And exhale, rest the arms. Please step the right foot back, warrior two. Turn the right toes to the side edge. Slide the right foot back and bend the left knee. Inhale, open the arms. Roll the shoulders up and back. Exhale, draw in through the arm bones. Root into the shoulder sockets. And same with the hips. Pull the thigh bones into the hip sockets. And from here, Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. Bring that right arm over the ear. Roll the right shoulder up and back. Lift the right inner hip up and back. As you exhale, tighten in the pelvic floor. And maybe, if your stance is long enough, you can bring the left hand to a block or to the floor outside. Keep the buoyancy in the hips by pressing down through the soles of the feet, using the strength of the inner thighs. Now bring the right arm behind the back, for the bound side angle. You can use the strap here by holding the strap with that top hand. Bring the left arm underneath the inside of the left thigh. And lift the right shoulder up, look up. If you wish more, you can straighten that left knee. I'm into a bound triangle. And then release the strap. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. And inhale, lift the right leg up. And step the right foot through. Warrior two. Turn the left toes out. Lift up the chest. Roll the shoulders up and back. And as you exhale, pull the navel in, deepen the pose. If you can, lengthen your stance. And then come into the side angle, Parshva Konasana, reaching over the left ear. Keep that inner tension in the pelvis to lift up through the pelvic floor and draw in through the navel. And then that left hip can float up and back. And you might get to touch the floor with the right fingers or a block outside the right foot. And then maybe with a strap, you'll try to bind the left arm behind the back, the right arm under the right thigh. And open the chest, lift that left shoulder up. And lengthen again through the neck and spine. And from there, you can also straighten the right knee into a bound triangle. Okay, nice try. We're gonna step back again to downward dog. Release. And then come through to seated. For a head to knee pose. Janu Shirshasana. Bend the right knee. Press the right foot into the left thigh. And draw the lower back in. Lift the heart. And exhale, hinge forward over the left hip. Pulling that left kneecap up so the left thigh bone goes deep into the hip socket. Inhale, lengthen the neck and spine. And exhale, pull in through the navel to fold over that left hip. Expand, flower, and blossom as you inhale. And draw into that exhale. The strap can also be around that left foot so that you don't have to overreach with the arms and tense up the shoulders. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down into the back. And inhale, lift up, release that side, and switch legs. Extend the right, bend the left knee, and press the left foot into the right thigh. Inhale, draw the lower back in, lift the chest, and exhale, fold over the right hip. With the strap around the right foot, you can keep the shoulders back and down. And as you exhale, tighten the tummy, squeeze the kneecap. And use that delicious breath to stay present, to stay connected to your bliss. And over a series of breaths, you may get deeper in the pose where you don't need the strap. And inhale, we'll lift up and straighten both legs for Paschimottanasana. We're going to widen the sitting bones, hug the shins to the midline, and you can use the strap around the soles of the feet to keep the shoulders from rounding and the back from getting a hunch in it. So we're going to inhale, lift up through the heart, and exhale, pull in through the navel, bend the elbows. Keep lengthening the back of the neck like you're smiling in the back of the skull. And over a series of breaths, you may find that you don't need the strap. Inhale, lift up halfway, and we're going to apply Mahabandha, which is 3 locks. The Mula Bandha in the root, Uddiyana Bandha in the navel, and Jalandhara Bandha in the throat. So we're halfway in Paschimottanasana, maybe holding the strap and keeping the shoulders back so that you can breathe deeply into the lungs. And as you exhale, begin to apply that root lock, then the navel, and then the throat. And continue breathing as you hold these 3 locks. Breathe with Ujjayi breath. And then release, inhale, lift up. And for a little counter stretch, we'll bring the hands behind the hips, lift the knees, and lift the sitting bones, lift up to Purvottanasana, this bench pose. And then lower back to rest on the buttocks. And we'll go on to plow pose. So around the spine, tuck the chin, and roll back so the legs extend up and over the head. Press the palms down into the mat so you can lift the hips up and lift the thighs up away from the face. And if possible, bring the toes to touch the mat behind your head. Halasana, plow pose. Next variation, if you want to, is to bend the knees, an ear pressure pose. So the knees come right close to the head. And then roll the back down. So you're resting again on the floor with your back. Hold the feet with the hands or the ankles, pulling the knees down into happy baby. And wrap the arms inside the knees, holding the outsides of the feet and pressing the elbows down against the thighs to widen the hips. And you can try and extend the legs out to a wide angle. A wide angle plow, and holding the hands around the back of the buttocks. This gives us the form of Kurmasana, the tortoise, while still resting on the back. There's less tension in the legs. Now come out, roll up to seated, and we'll try that from a sitting position, starting with wide leg, forward bend, Prasarita Uttanasana. Spread the toes, widen the legs, lean into the front of the sitting bones. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, and exhale, pull the navel in and start to fold forward. Your hands are supporting, squeezing the kneecaps, draw the thigh bones up into the hip sockets. Lift up, out, and over the hips so you can come down with a flat back. Inhale, broaden the chest, and exhale, folding forward. Then lift up halfway. Lift the knees and slide the arms under the knees. The palms are face down, and a slight bend in the elbows. Slide the heels out and away. And we come to this tortoise Kurmasana. Then slowly extract the arms, lift it back up, and bring the soles of the feet together. Cobbler pose. Pull back on the ankles or press behind with the fingertips, whatever you need to do to lift the lower back. Open the inner thighs. Good. Now, come into cow face pose. And for this, I like to use a bit of a lift for my hips. I'm going to come first with the right knee down, and then the left knee on top. Crossing the ankles to opposite sides. And then slowly sitting back. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. And here again, if you wish to use the strap, you would hold the strap in the right hand. Bring the left arm up from behind. And pull against the ends of the strap like you're stretching a rubber band. And use that to lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck. And an option here also is to fold forward. And inhale, lift it up, and switch sides. So I like to come onto hands and knees and put one knee in front of the other. And then going back down to seated. And here, the left arm will be on top. The right arm, reach up from behind. And straighten the neck, lengthen the spine, and expand in the rib cage. Stay here or start to fold forward, keeping the back straight, not rounding. But if you run into any obstacle or your breath starts to catch, then go back to where your breath is more comfortable and natural. And release this side, lift it up, and let go. Now we have the Yoga Mudrasana, the yogic seal, and this can be done either cross-legged, half lotus, or full lotus. So I'll try the half lotus. Bring one foot up. Draw the lower back in, and this is another one where we bind behind the back. So using the strap is a good way to get there, to bind, or just taking opposite hand, opposite elbow behind your back. Okay, because in the full pose you're in lotus and you're holding the big toes of the feet with your hands. Well, I'm just going to hold opposite hand, opposite elbow, and gradually fold forward here. This is the yogic seal. Inhale, lift up, and switch the legs, whichever was on top. We'll go on the bottom. Whichever arm was on top, we'll go on the bottom. And we'll fold forward as you're comfortable, breathing. Still able to sense that artistic aesthetic in the pose, in the experience. And then inhale, lift that side up. And uncross there. And lastly, we have our embryo pose, Garbha Pindasana. And if you have any furniture nearby, you may have some restrictions on how you do this. This is where we curl up into a little ball and roll back and forth, completing a 360-degree circle. So the full pose, you would do lotus, you would stick your arms between, right? And then wrap up, holding the elbows in this way. So we can do this cross-legged, holding the outer shins with the arms tucked through this way. Tuck the chin into the chest, and we rock down one side, come up the other, so you can go into a complete 360-degree circle of rocking around on your spine. Oops, I lost it. And who knows where we end up again, and somewhere we end up. And we release. Okay. And let's end now in full Danda Pranam. Offer it all back. Coming to full prostration on the stomach and extending the legs and arms, forehead to the floor. Offering all this experience up to the divine. Tasting this rasa, this essence, the nectar of artistry, beauty. Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Great reverence to this embodied state. And you can just go into your Shavasana, corpse pose, rolling over onto your back and widening the legs, arms. feeling the wholeness, completeness, and fullness within you now. This perfection which lacks nothing is called Purna. And there's the mantra Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnam Udachyate Purnasa Purmandaya Purnam Ivishvate Om. The divine is Purna, fullness. The manifest is Purna. Upon taking Purna from Purna, what remains too is Purna, completeness, perfection. Purnameda, Purnamidam, Purnata, Purnamudichyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamivishyate. Om. And just letting your body rest, mind rest, with full awareness and presence. You can reconnect to that essential part of yourself, which is pure bliss, joy, and happiness. This is your birthright. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti